Okay, and welcome back, everyone, as this is Strange Planet Podcast. And I must say, as far as the Trump administration goes, he's basically turning America into a country of corruption, because the latest news that just came out was that I believe 1.7 to 1.8 billion dollars with a B of taxpayer money. That's all of what our money, basically. There's going to be no oversight, by the way, or very little, if any. He's taking that money and basically giving it to his billionaire friends as payoffs, and also the January 6th insurrectionists. Yes, you heard that right. No, it is not made up. So if that isn't the most despicable, disgusting thing I've ever heard, and if that isn't enough for you, in more recent news, the Trump family is now protected from any future IRS tax audits, believe it or not. So what the fuck is going on, guys? What do you think about this? All I'm saying is this has, whether you're a MAGA idiot or not, this should piss off every single American in this country right now. It really should.
All I'm saying is, fuck that. I'm not paying.
I'm with you.
I'm not.
110%.
I'm not.
That is bullshit,
Okay?
is what that is.
Like, I am not paying a dime of that. One way or the other, I am not paying a dime.
We'll figure out a way. I hear you.
Second of all, the fact that, it's just insane that you would have basically funneling tax dollars from Americans, who obey the law,
right,
to people who broke the law and were prosecuted and, went through our American justice system, which found them guilty of insurrection, beating police officers.
A few of them died.
No, like I think maybe one died, but so, all of this is to say that, you do all that and you get pardoned by the president. Now you're going to get paid by the people who didn't do that. I'm sorry, but that's fucking wrong. And I'm not paying it. I'm not.
That is bullshit.
Second of all, with respect to the part about people who, his family getting insulated from him and his family getting insulated from any IRS audit. So that means they can basically cheat on their taxes with impunity. Just don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
You don't get audited. You can't, get in trouble. Like, how stupid is that? Like, how could you even legally negotiate something like that? I mean, from Department of Justice standpoint, like, this person is insulated not just from previous crimes, but from all future crimes and his family going forward. That is fucking wrong. It is some dictatorship type monarchy. That's basically, you can't do that in a democracy and still be a democracy. You just can't.
Yeah, no way in hell. And the craziest part about it is, if you think about it, if this actually does go through, they're basically getting rewarded for, destroying the Capitol and charging it. And, I mean, like that, you realize how crazy that is? There's so much fucked up and wrong about this whole thing. And we're supposed to just sit back and let it happen? Mark, how do you feel about this bullshit?
I feel like you need to take a few weekends off from work, if you know what I mean. There is this can't be able to stand. I mean, obviously, with Trump in office, anything's possible because he's got his cronies in the spots to be able to change whatever laws, be it temporary, be it permanent, be it because, it's Trump. We need to make sure that he doesn't stay in office. And I don't know how we're going to be able to do that if he's going to try to go for a third term illegally in this midterm elections. And it's just, it's how? How is this allowed to stand? How is this allowed to be? Why is he even suing the IRS in the first place? It's defamation, some bullshit.
So no. So he's suing the IRS because The fact that he did not pay taxes for
Cheated,
years and
yeah.
years and years was leaked by not an employee of the IRS, but by a contractor who had access to his records. So
Okay.
he sued the IRS for $10 billion.
10 billion it was, yep.
You know, just $10 billion. Fuck it.
Right?
The
Like,
judge let that pass.
This is so insane.
and now, you know, there's, you know, a settlement now. You know, I don't know what stage, because it has to be court approved. I would assume, unless,
Well,
you know, unless the Justice Department is just going to say, actually, hold on. It might not even have to be court approved. The Justice Department could have just he withdrew his suit, I think, in exchange for this, is what happened.
yeah, that's exactly right. Actually, that's what I read earlier today.
So
Yeah.
if he did this, and yeah, so I don't even think it needs necessarily court approval for the settlement.
So he could just steal
'Cause it's
taxpayer money and do this.
so this is just, he's just creating a fund, you know, for his buddies and people, I guess, who support him.
The
And he's
insurrectionists.
also insulating himself and his family for life, in perpetuity. Like, that's just wrong.
That's wrong.
Like,
I can't.
you cannot
that
insulate
cannot be
yourself from
allowed.
crime. Every
I
like,
don't
that's
care
something that
what
every
contract
American
bullshit-
pays taxes.
Right.
Every American pays
That's
taxes.
that.
Like, we hate it. We don't enjoy paying taxes, but we do. Now, this
I wanna
family,
sue.
this Trump family, is saying we are, you know, just not going to be accountable for paying taxes, you know, in perpetuity, for life, whatever.
bullshit.
We're just like, no, that's not how it's supposed to work in this country. No.
Right?
Like, it's not even just
Well,
like, we're not
when
going
and
to look
where
into
am
your
I
past
marching?
and your dirty shit that you do with taxes, because since you haven't paid for years, and we know that.
Right?
It's like going into the future and all the crypto shit they're doing and all the
Right.
shady international shit they're doing.
Yep.
You know, just like milking the fucking country and milking their position as a president and family who grifts
Yeah.
off of our society. And
That's-
and you're going to say, like, not only are we going to do that, but all the money that we're pulling in, you can't even look into it.
Right.
You don't even have to
Right.
pay taxes on it if we don't want to.
Yo, for
Like,
real.
no.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't understand MAGA
No.
when it comes to this, because
Just no.
this is like the probably the greatest grift of all time.
No,
Not to mention the Trump phone, by the way.
This is not the greatest grift. This is something that people were put together and planned for, and everyone's getting their back scratched. And this should have been taken care of a while ago.
Oh yeah.
And sadly, I'm gonna put the blame on Democrats here, because they were fucking dragging their ass between the fucking first administration of Trump and the new administration of Trump, and like all this information. We could have had his balls in a vice, but no.
I don't blame Democrats. I don't.
Not entirely.
Democrats went out. Democrats opposed him. Democrats told people that it was wrong.
Trying to prosecute him for all that other shit.
I mean, that does bring a logical point up there.
That is a fair point.
Could have done something.
He had his back.
That is a fair point. But
I'm running for president. You can't run for president.
But that, you know, you have to do that in a way that, you know, complies with the law. Otherwise, you know, you're just destroying the democracy you're trying to protect. Like, if you're going to say, like, oh, we're just gonna, like, prosecute him, throw him in jail without going through proper procedures, then you can't do it. You can't do it as good as they can. Right, but you can't do it as good as they can.
Over 4 years,
because they don't have the morals that we do, in terms of, you know, complying with the law, in terms of, like,
upholding
not being vindictive and bitter and seeking revenge.
Right.
Like they are, this is a revenge sword. Look, he indicted Comey for like what, the fifth time
And
that,
what's going to happen there? It's a
like
waste of taxpayer money again. Like,
Eventually, he's going to get
so
him with something.
if
Just to
anything,
fucking get him.
Comey should get some money for
yeah,
being selectively prosecuted
yeah,
multiple times.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you would think, right?
They won't even prosecute that because the DOJ is in the president's back pocket.
Right. The funny thing is, on a counter flip side, I was reading something that Bernie wanted to do. Of course, God knows, I mean, Trump seems like he can do whatever he wants, but this would be beautiful if it did. He said he wanted to tax, I think it was all the billionaires, and I forget exactly how many there were, but he wanted to give them a 5% tax. And after doing that, it would actually accumulate, if I got the numbers correct here, I think it was like 1 point something, like 3 trillion or something like that. Then he wanted to take that money and expand Medicare, raise teachers' salaries, and the rest, believe it or not, he said he wanted to give every American 12 grand, a check for 12 grand. So, like, you know what I mean? You have that, and now you have Trump taking your money and giving it to insurrectionists and his billionaire buddies. You know what I mean? So, like, which one of those two on the table make more sense to you? Like,
you can't forget the fact that he's building a ballroom in his name using taxpayer money. He's trying to build some kind of American version of the Arc de Triomphe with fucking his fucking shit all over. He wants to be idolized as a god, if not a king in this country. And I don't think we have the patience for that. The problem is, whatever checks and balances we have in place to make sure this shit doesn't happen, he's got bought and paid for. So it's sad to see the Supreme Court in a shit position where they suck, and I don't have any confidence in them whatsoever. The DOJ, I have no confidence in whatsoever.
Yep.
I don't care if you're, a judge from a West Bumblefuck of nowhere. You don't even know who Trump is. I still don't trust you. It's just, I'm sorry. It's at the point where I don't see Lady Justice as we see her. If you know who Metallica is, they have a picture of her bound and raped, fucking destroyed. And I think that's kind of where we are in the situation where Lady Justice is being held in some fucking prison encampment in West Cambodia, and no one's gonna know where she is until Trump lets her go. Yeah, we are pretty much dictatorship at this point. So hello, comrade. Look, you're doing very good. America. Yes.
And that's what, but that's what all these actions basically, that's where we're headed. This is all dictator.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? The sad thing is, I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Hell no. Yeah. That's the scariest part of the whole thing. And I hate to say it, this is exactly the direction for a country to crash. So we're headed under he's just going to milk it dry. All of his billionaire buddies will be fine. He'll be fine. You know what I mean? His criminal family will be fine. But the rest of us are basically paying out the ass for this. And if you think it's bad now, it's going to get worse.
Do the rich people know something we don't? Like there's some kind of comet on its way and we're all going to die in 5 years?
Just remember who enabled this.
Yeah.
Don't blame Democrats.
Right.
Blame rich businessmen.
Yep.
Like Mark Zuckerberg, like
Bezos.
Jeff Bezos, like Elon Musk. Those people enabled him. They ushered him in, they supported him, and they bowed to him.
Yep.
In order to sustain themselves as in their positions and their businesses. They are the ones with the power who could have resisted, who could have took a stand, but no, instead they joined him and augmented his power.
Yeah.
Don't forget that, America. Don't forget that.
That is 100% spot on there. Like it couldn't have been said any better. And it's sad to see because they completely manipulated their base too. All the MAGA minions, they're not getting a goddamn thing out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they just use them to win the election.
If you take a look at well, just compared to Nazi Germany, there are a lot of companies that benefited from the Nazi regime. I
Yep.
won't name them, but some of them,
BMW.
Volkswagen, BMW, yeah, like, lots of pharmaceutical companies, like they have benefited from it, and they're still around today. Their existence still benefiting from their past in the Nazi regime.
Yeah.
And we're seeing the same thing now with these companies who thought Trump was an idiot, which he is.
100%.
And they're just now saying, okay, like, we're not going to resist anymore. We're just going to support and comply and just fuck democracy.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Very much.
Like Facebook used to put in an effort to like moderate bullshit, basically. Just completely made up fake news, like real fake news, like shit that just people make up. Like, it doesn't even have to be political.
Right.
Like,
it could be
it's
about
just
anything.
like shit that's like in the tabloids that like now it's like propagated to people on a constant basis every day. So like people are living in like alternate realities of information.
100%.
And these social media magnates are responsible for that. They are
100%.
and they're responsible for bringing us and perpetuating Trump. They're responsible for this. So every bad thing that happens to America going forward, they have a large part in it, and they can't just ignore that.
Yeah, and like you said, they all play a hand in the whole thing. It really does, because if you think about it, all this social media, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, whether it's fucking Facebook, you know what I mean? All of it is like another tool and asset that they used to basically help Trump win. Because they don't filter anything. You know what I mean? Like,
no, they don't. Facebook doesn't bother anymore.
Yeah, like they just don't care.
They just don't. They just don't.
Yeah, and you know what the crazy thing was?
You could say the N-word to someone, you could report it, and they'll be like, eh.
Yeah, just don't matter. Yeah, like it really don't matter. The crazy thing was, I heard China was cracking down on a lot of that social media shit, believe it or not. And even outside of politics, believe it or not, say like you're an average Joe and you're trying to give like health advice or fitness advice or advice that normally, or even would normally consider like a degree or something. If you don't have that degree, you aren't allowed to do that. You will get your platform removed. So if you have a degree in it or you have the, the studies for it, then you can keep it and continue on about what you're doing. But if you know nothing about what you're talking about, yoink, they take it away. I almost feel like that should be here. I never thought I'd say that.
Well, hold on. So like people have the right to like speak their opinions about things. They have a right to, even if they're not an expert in something, they have a right to opine publicly on things.
Right.
Whether you should believe them or not, that's another thing. But what I'm talking about is like this mass production of bullshit material that on purpose just makes shit up and is not grounded in any sort of reality. On purpose, it's trying to mislead people just to get their attention, to get a click, to get a view. Oh, that's the only thing that they care about.
Bottom line is, though, this is making Nixon look like a rock star, not for nothing.
Yeah,
because he actually had the decency to at least step down. You know what I mean? After he committed his crimes and did what he did. But if you think for 1 minute that this clown has any intention of doing that, no. And I'll tell you another thing that's probably no damn good.
I don't even know why you're saying that. Of course he's fucking that. That's why he ran for president again.
Exactly. But that's where I'm getting to now, too, at the same time, because this bullshit with the ballroom and everything else and that other thing by the monument. You really think this is all being done by someone that's going to leave in 2 years? I guarantee you this time he ain't going to leave. We have problems coming, my friends.
Yeah.
We have problems coming.
Big problem.
the problem, regardless of whether he leaves or not, is he has, done permanent damage to this country,
Yeah.
both abroad and at home.
Yep.
It's never going to be the same again. Um, you know, when Republicans lost and like Obama won, there was like this thinking that like, the Republican brand was dying. It was, going extinct. That Republicans would never win, anything, ever again. And so, like, I don't know where that thinking came from, but at the time, it was a very popular opinion in political circles. Like,
Mm.
and how Republicans, clawed their way out of that and won in 2016, with or without Putin's help. Like, the fact that they were competitive in presidential race, 2016, 2020, 2024.
Mm.
The fact that, they're winning, the House, they won the Senate. The fact that they are
Cheating.
a viable political party again, and not only that, but one that is
Cheating.
dominating and winning. It could be cheating, but I'm not talking about, whether they cheat or not. That's another issue. What I'm talking about is the fact that they are even like a legitimate like political
Party, right?
option
Yeah,
at this point, because
right.
they've already discredited themselves so many times in the
Right.
past.
Yeah.
And most recently with Trump's first term, which was a disaster.
Abysmal as it
Is his second term obviously not going well.
is. Yeah.
He got us into like the biggest Middle Eastern war
Right.
that we
Pointless
have.
one.
Yeah. And so, um, what are the lessons that Americans are going to learn from this? Probably nothing.
Yeah.
Because if Trump can
Sadly.
come back from his first term and get reelected for another term, Americans have very short-term memories.
Oh yeah.
Is what they've shown.
Yep.
And it's just going to be they don't punish a political party for putting up a shitty candidate. They really don't.
No, nope.
They really don't.
They don't care. Yeah.
I shouldn't say candidate, a shitty president,
Yeah.
or a shitty, politician. Um, I think that Trump also was a shitty candidate, but
Right. Yeah, no
he
denying
won,
that.
so I can't really, it worked, like, only because,
They got
people
grifted.
buy into, well, no, it's because people buy into, they fall for something that's like so blatantly, obviously like fake and it's really hard to describe Trump, but he's full of shit. Okay.
Yeah, about everything too.
He is a snake oil salesman. He's full of shit. Okay. And, anyone with a brain can see through his, routine. However, I think that some people know that it's a routine and go along with him anyway. Other people don't know it's a routine and go along with him.
Right.
Depending on, their values and their personality. So like, I think that enough Americans have been corrupted by this, personality trait that Trump sort of embodies. And, it's unfortunate, but that is pretty much, the end of America as we know it, because
Yep.
you know, I don't think that a country is sustainable on, that type of personality and attitude. It's only going to lead to our own, sort
Demise.
of destruction. Um, you can't just ignore like how stupid his fucking tweets are. I'm sorry, but someone who like communicates like with that is fucking stupid.
Right.
They're stupid. They're not smart. They're not.
No.
And if you like support this person who communicates like that and you just like go about your day like that's all normal, no. Like it's stupid. You put a stupid person in office.
Yeah.
And like, when the consequences start happening, don't say sorry. Don't say, oh, we'll pick a better candidate next time. Nah, sit the fuck out, please.
Yeah, don't even bother.
Like, sit the fuck out.
Yeah,
don't even bother voting. Just sit the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like,
pick up a book.
Like, let the people who can put like rational adults, in charge, vote. Just sit this one out, please. Please, for the love of God.
Yeah.
For the love of fucking God, please just sit out.
Yo, like you couldn't have said it any better because that's the realist. Because the bottom line too is if and when we do survive this, say in 2 years, my biggest thing, and I've said this in past episodes and stuff, sadly enough, like going back to the 2000s, I used to think Bush was as bad as it was going to get. And then Trump, go figure, like, 10, 15 years later was like, here, hold my beer. This is the most abysmal thing I've ever seen in probably the history of this country, not to mention in my lifetime. But my reason, what I'm getting at here is what comes next. Because, like, I don't see a Democratic candidate at any point pulling any of this kind of shit, especially blatantly obvious right on TV half the time, if not all the time. So, like, the next one that comes after Trump, if we allow that to happen and this rhetoric comes back 4 years, 8 years, 12 years later, guess what? At that point, that could be the end of America as we know it, considering
no, it's coming right now.
Yeah,
no, it's
considering
coming
we
right
survived this right now.
No,
right?
we are absolutely going to experience another Trumpian style candidate. They're going to suck up to Trump or if Trump's not there, to MAGA. They're gonna, they're gonna carry this as long as they aren't punished. Okay. And Americans have shown that they won't punish someone. Yeah, Joe Biden won, but like, they forgot very quickly how ridiculous Trump is, and they forgot or didn't even realize how dangerous he is. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the real thing, because the bottom line is, in any action he's done so far to this point, he has done nothing for any of us, whether you're a MAGA fool or not. The only people that have benefited are his rich billionaire buddies, his own crime family, and that's about it. That's it. There's nothing more to say to that.
Nope.
So, like, if you think otherwise, get off social media and get off that Truth Social bullshit. That's another thing I wanted to bring up too. Speaking of which, when the hell have we ever had a president that had his own like businesses out in the open like this, let alone a social media outlet? Imagine if Biden
he just
had, like this is
right.
This is
I have my own social media company. Like,
are you fucking kidding me? Like,
and I have my own crypto coin that I started selling the couple of nights before I took office. Like,
that makes no sense. Like, no sense.
Really? Like no, I'm sorry. I have to say this. Like, they're idiots. The people that put him in charge are idiots.
Yeah, completely misled morons.
I'm going to make myself a fucking billionaire by capitalizing off the fact that I won the presidency and people are obsessed with me. So I'm going to create a crypto coin and sell it and then dump it so I can rake in those billions. That's what you allowed this person to do.
Yeah. Put it this way.
You allowed a person to say like, oh, like someone leaked that I didn't pay taxes. Now we get to pay the people who tried to violently keep me in office last time. you have to give money to them.
Yeah.
And also, oh, me and my family never have to be investigated for paying taxes again. We could just not pay taxes at all and just like never get investigated, even though every other fucking American has to pay their taxes.
Yeah. But think about how crazy all this
And
is.
it's subject to investigation. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, imagine if Obama had his own brand of cars when he was in the White House,
Yeah.
or if Biden had like Bidengram instead of Instagram. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people, the freaking right would have lost their fucking minds. You know what I mean? God forbid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The left
Now
wing
this guy-
social media. Like,
Yeah.
at least Democrats don't own social media companies. Like,
No, yeah. If anything, they're the ones trying to like, correct them, at least put like viable information or at least fact and bullshit, fact or crap concepts on it.
right. Well,
You know what I mean? Like,
there is like an issue where, there's censorship, government censorship of like during the COVID period, like with people putting out false information about COVID, which is dangerous. Now, it was a period in which like things were in flux. Like we didn't know a lot about COVID at the beginning. And, some of the precautionary measures were maybe, a little, extreme or not extreme, but like just like not necessarily informed by
Fact.
science. We didn't have the data that would back up a lot of claims. It was just a lot of okay, this seems like a sensible thing to do in this situation,
right.
but there was a lot of censorship I guess efforts in that regard, to pressure social media companies like Facebook to say don't let people say that shit, like it's dangerous, because like they'll go around spreading this disease that we don't really
Know much about.
know how to
Yeah.
control. So that effort to do that is one thing, and you can have your criticism about that, but what they're doing is saying, putting out false information, not to in an effort to like safeguard the public from a disease, but to like aggrandize themselves, to say that to lie about political candidacies, to lie about just lie about things,
Yeah,
like
blatantly too.
blatantly and on purpose. There's no like helpful purpose that is alleged to be behind it. It's just a lie, and it's a aggrandizing lie. And that's the difference. And these social media companies have now just flipped. They're just like, okay, we're just gonna put out whatever, we'll let whatever happens happen.
Right?
We're
Let
just
them
gonna
sort
make
it out.
money.
Yeah,
We're
as long as-
just gonna make money, whatever, and we'll just keep feeding the algorithm. Whatever people like, we're gonna show them. Here you go. Here you go. You like lies. You like
Here you go, here's
lies.
more.
And
Yeah.
misinformation here. Like, here's more of it. They know exactly what they're fucking doing, and they're destroying our country. They're destroying, global society. But I guess if, makes them a few bucks.
And there you have it, folks. If you think Donald Trump is serving the American people, he's not. He's serving himself. And his actions are proving just that. And that's all we got for this week on Strange Planet Podcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. New episodes are usually every Friday on YouTube. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Peace.